5 days. 5 days more before we can try to fight back the slaughter of our women and children in this country. Nothing is being done. I sat down yesterday, I did my live 2 days before, or the day before, and I told everyone that the domestic violence in this country is worse than the corruption. 24 hours couldn't pass before another woman is, it's not even murder. It's horrific. And the child, and y'all think that our society is progressing? At this point in time, arm the women. Okay? Give all the women guns. Because if y'all, the police and the government and the ones in charge not doing nothing to protect them, which it is your job to do, if you're not going to protect them, let them protect themselves. Let them protect themselves because you are not doing it. Don't give lip service. You sit down like a clown at the president and give a damn, oh, I had the opportunity to speak to the child. He has to know the whole nation is. Shut up. This makes you a bad person. You've been there for 5 years. What have you done to protect our women and our children? Nothing. Nothing you have done. You could run your mouth about all the little, look, we put in a helpline, look, we do this. Your police don't do nothing. You got nowhere for women to go. You got nothing in place, no systems that women in abusive relationships can go and get help. You have done nothing. You have failed this country, air finale. You are the president. Okay? Before you talk about shitty bridge and road, why you ain't talking more about women? Watch. You done. Just open all the newspapers, open the media. Go today and watch. I told y'all, I watch everything in this country. You know, all these politicians done. They ain't talking about domestic violence again. It done. They done move on to the next topic. And y'all want to know why women keep dying? Why people keep killing their own children? Murder, suicides? Because look, they done already. All the politicians, they done gone back to the shit. All right? It is shit. Y'all don't understand that there's nothing more important than the preservation of life. You don't get that? Nothing else is paramount to the preservation of life. People have to be saved. People have to survive. This is our only mission. All the money in the world, all the economics, all the road, all the whatever else, the shit they're talking is irrelevant if people are dying. Y'all don't get that? And you sit down there and you defend this bullshit and you talk about progress and how good things are. For who? Because it sure as hell is not good for that child and that lady or Kanisha Vaughn or Adriana Young family or all the children in the Madia fire. It sure as ass ain't good for them. But that's not y'all problem because it's not y'all. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get. Just think for a second. Just think. Just stop for 2 seconds because this is where I get my motivation to do this, okay? Can you imagine what's going to happen to the children's lives of that little boy yesterday that was shot or Kanisha Vaughn's son? Just think of those 2 children. Think about what the rest of their lives are going to be like. They are broken already. There is no fixing that. Do you want that for your child? Can you imagine your child doing that? I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to be horrible. It's not nice. Can you imagine that little boy has to walk around for the rest of his life telling people that he was shot by his father during the time his father murdered his mother and committed suicide? You get that through your head? For the rest of his life, that child got to walk around with her? And don't worry though. The president went and gave a statement and gave the little boy a speech and said, we're praying with you. This is not about God, partner. God ain't gonna save we women and children. All right? Stop with your religious bullshit and protect the women and children. That's what the police are for. That's what we pay taxes for. We have elected you to protect us, not just from Venezuela, from the bad elements in our own society as well. You know the number one reason, just so everybody gets this, okay? The number one reason that the domestic violence continues is because the women that are trapped in these situations have nowhere to go. There's no economic option for them. They cannot sustain themselves. They cannot go and get a job and continue to live on their own and mind their children. They need their money from their husband, which is why they take the abuse most of the time. You get that, right? You have nothing. The people suffering so bad that they gotta get beat in order just to eat. You don't get that? Y'all ain't getting it through your brain? What is wrong with y'all? That situation yesterday is one of the horrific, one of the many. We talk about it like it's nothing. Like we talk about it like, oh, just another one. And y'all are accepting that. Yeah, I watch Ali go on stage yesterday. I tell y'all, watch everything. You know, the man turned to the rally and said, yesterday, after this murder, just so y'all are aware, and go on and look at the people and say, y'all just make sure y'all vote for us, you know. Don't vote out of spite and vote for somebody else. Don't vote out of spite. Was your admission of doing a shit job? What were the people, what was the spite? Who they spited? Who they spited? You? Because you admitting how bad of a job you doing. That you frighten the people vote out of spite. This is the conversation. Let me tell y'all the conversation. Okay, I wrote it down. Every day I make notes. Every day as it come to my head, I make a note on it. Let me explain something to y'all. The reason that you need to vote the PPP out is because they have created a system where people feel like they are above the law, okay? Where they have made their people and their friends and anybody could make a phone call or pay $2 and they're above the law, okay? That is what the legacy of Irfan Ali is, okay? All these big boys in this country who feel they can do anything they want. All right? And then obviously, you want to talk about trickle-down effect? That is the trickle-down effect. Okay? The trickle-down effect is all the little ones at the bottom thinking that, me boss man is a big man, I can do anything I want. He can get me out of it because he got links with Irfan. Good? That is the legacy we're talking about in this country. All right? The man just said, don't vote out of spite. I know I'm the problem, but don't spite me. That's what Irfan Ali just said on stage. What was wrong with y'all? Right? Now let me get deeper into understanding how this situation is created. It's all boils back to the politics. Okay? Because you guys, I know a lot of you are detached from it. I know a lot of you don't deal with it all day. A lot of you don't care to deal with it. I know you're working. I know you're trying to survive. You're minding your family. You're taking care of your responsibilities. I get it. I can explain this to y'all as somebody deep in it. Somebody that has read everything on it. Somebody that understands it. Okay? Just listen to me here for a second. The president of this country, the laws don't apply to him. Okay? It has been set out since Burnham days. This dictatorship type rule. Where when they created the Constitution, they created it so the president is God. Okay? He has God-like powers in this country. Over everything. Okay? And because of that, he can sign off, he could go to the police and tell them anything. He's the one that has put the judges in place. He's the one that's controlling military. He's the one that's controlling money, GRA, Ministry of Finance, everything. He has final say on everything. Now, I want you guys to wrap your head around the amount of power, the God-like complex that these politicians get when they have this power. All right? It turns you into a different person. Okay? You need to make sure you vote these people out so nobody can feel this powerful. That's why. That is why the abuse is happening. Because these people feel like they are untouchable. These people feel like I could do anything I want and nobody can tell me nothing. Okay? There is no accountability to them. Okay? They control all the systems. That type of power corrupts absolutely. You know the statement. You know the saying, right? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. That is the problem in this country right now. These politicians feel like they are God. Why do you think they're talking about religion so much? The God there, oh, I'm going to pray for you, my son. The man, father just murdered a man, mother, and shooty. I can pray to God for you. Why you systems they help the girl? Should have taken abuse for years. Why every time she call the police or had to go and look for help, she can't get no help? You are to blame, Ali, because you ain't put no systems in place to help the girl. Right? No, nothing you have done. Don't make excuses. Talk the shit how you want talking. You did nothing because women still dying. 5 days from elections. You and women still dying in this country, slaughtered in the middle of the road. You are to blame. You want to be the leader. You want to be the God of Guyana. Well, take the responsibility of being God of Guyana. Right, President Irfan Ali? You want to be the savior and the all ruler and the mighty. This is you fault then. Because you can take the good and the bad. Good? You want we praise you for road and bridge? Where we can condemn you for this nastiness now. Okay? And that's what y'all need to understand about what's going on in this country. Okay? They done talking. The politicians done already. They done move on with their life. They done talking about other things in society that we must vote on. Sorry to hear that girl dead yesterday, that your husband murdered she. Sorry to hear that, but we have other things to deal with. No, we don't. We don't have nothing else to deal with. Okay? The preservation of life is all we have to deal with. Okay? In any way, shape, or form. Alright? By now, with all your money and housing scheme. My question, look, a simple solution. One of the solutions. And I'm sorry, this is very complex. I ain't trying to pretend like I can just fix this in this one solution. But again, if you know the economic issue is the problem with women and they can't go out on their own and left their husband because they can't survive and feed their children, why you ain't take one of this big piece of land we got here that you keep claiming you give 50,000 house slot when half of it is swamp? Why you didn't take all the money we got, build a nice complex, right? A community with all of the little houses, the same 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom houses, right? Make it comfortable for these women and they could go in and get police protection and they're safe, a haven. Somewhere these women could go and get daily groceries and meals with their family and a roof over their head and a shelter. And transportation for the children to go to school and protection at the front gate. Right? And a wall, a 20-foot wall that nobody can get in to get to these women. Why you not setting up systems that they could go and get jobs and actually sustain themselves? Right? Why you not training your police better to respond quicker to domestic violence? Right? Now, I have to get into the conversation about school. The school is the key because education is everything. So the first thing in schools, the first thing is y'all are watching the violence. You know our next generation is almost done already. It's heart-wrenching. You know our next generation. You watching what's going on we roads. Right? You watch children fighting. Where you think they learning it? Why you think they're going to school and fighting? Because it's happening every day of their lives everywhere. When they reach home, it's fighting. When they go jump in a bus to get to school, it's fighting. We all not understanding about this. It is violence everywhere. Our society is degraded to garbage. Okay? Figure this out, guys. Now in the schools, you have to have put in place situations for psychological assessments and help. Mental health. The first issue with abuse is mental health. Okay? People need to know to control their emotions. Especially men in this ego-driven society. You need to teach men how to say, this situation, I determine my reaction, leave. Because always remember that. And this men's problems. And we saw it with the critic situation. You don't take disrespect so I can represent myself. No, partner. You can just leave. You have the option to just leave. But your ego don't allow you to do that. Alright? That's the problem. Your emotional state, you gotta represent yourself because you are fragile. You are a weak man. Walk away. Y'all not understanding this thing? So it starts in the schools. Teach them that first. Teach the boys, the men how to be respectable parts of society, how to be decent people, how to control their emotions, how to recognize when things are going on in their head, how to rationalize it. All right? That's the first thing you need to teach. Then you need to teach about self-preservation. You need to teach that we need to take care of each other. All right? You need to teach that you have to have good outlets when it comes to your emotions, hobbies, sports, things like that. You need these discipline, those kinds of things. All right? This is the moral education. All right? This is the part of society that we have lost. All right? Because we are just stuck on money now. All right? It all starts with our schooling. Corporal punishment, things like that need to go out the door. All right? So we're getting to the point now. We're getting to the point now where if we and actually this is important. I had this conversation with somebody at gym the other day. Yesterday I was going up, and it was just after news came out about this murder. And somebody said, the person said, man, but this is happening all over the world. And the joke, it's not a joke. I'm sorry. I was going to say the joke about it because it's a lack of understanding. What everyone misses, and they use that excuse, oh, the world is lacking morality. Everything in society is degrading around the world. This is a global issue. And you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't disagree with that. I think that is every man for himself on this planet now. I hear y'all, okay? It is, and you're right. But, I want to tell you how much worse Guyana is. And it all stems back to, we only have 800,000 people, less than 1 million. Now, if you were to take these violent situations on a daily basis in this country and break that down per capita, meaning per person, meaning relative to the size of our population, when you look at other countries that got 300 million people, yes, there are going to be violent acts over there on a regular basis as well. You're right. But they have 300 million people, okay? We have less than 1 million, and we have almost the same daily occurrence of murder, suicide, abuse as anywhere in the world. Up to the other day, I could argue that it's probably still the same, because I have seen the statistics recently. Do you guys know that up to, I can only speak up to maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, we had the highest suicide per capita in the world. Now, if that doesn't show y'all how bad the mental health is in this country, then nothing will. Now that's how you break these things down. It's not just the fact that it's happening everywhere else in the world. It's not just the fact that Guyana is a lack of education or bad systems. It is a complete and total holistic breakdown in this country from every single angle. Okay, the police not protecting nobody, the government putting nothing in place. There's an economic breakdown. People are poor and suffering. There's a lack of education, whether it become actual academic education or mental health education or psychology. There's so much more. It is a complete holistic breakdown in this country, and we are watching the effects of that, the symptoms of it, when it comes to our suicide rate and domestic violence rate. Okay. And I'm trying to show all of you that it's a whole picture here. All right? And I'm sorry, guys. And I'm sorry, you don't want to hear politics, but it got to be politics. Because in 5 years, we have had the most children die in the history of our country. The most domestic violence, the most abuse, the most murder of partners, sorry for the terminology. You understand? This has never happened at this rate in this country. You guys have to understand this. All right? there's nothing else to talk about other than the fact that you guys have to understand that this is how the system has to change. If you want your reason, number one reason, to vote this government out or at least vote for another party, the logical reason is because people need to be protected. And these politicians feel like they're God. They're given this power and they're doing nothing to help. Okay? They're sprinkling a slogan and doing nothing in the background, which is why it's continuing. This egotistical society, all right? Nothing is being done. Our women are being slaughtered, and these politicians have already moved on to the next topic less than 24 hours later. That's what you guys have to vote on. The fact that they don't care, or they really genuinely don't care. And that's what you guys need to realize. All right, women out there, the women of Guyana, all right, please realize they don't care. If they cared, it wouldn't have just been a statement and then move on with life. All right? They would have done something more. Okay? The police themselves don't protect anybody. And it stems all the way up from the top. Okay, guys? We have to vote these politicians in so that nobody feels bigger than the laws. Nobody feels like they're God of this country. Because they don't care about nobody. They just want power. These guys are addicted to the power now. All right? And that's where the egotistical mentality is driven. And you saw it on the video with Critic. For a man to get up, to feel emboldened and comfortable enough to get up and beat a man like that, a PPP man to get up and beat a man like that on live television, on live camera. Could you imagine the mental state? Could you imagine what's going on in their heads? Could you imagine what's going on behind the scenes? Can you guys, I don't know how else to keep explaining this to y'all. Sorry. If there's any reason to stop me, so. That's Barra Jag, your best friend. Y'all see it for yourself right on camera. If you don't understand the correlation, then we slip in as a society even more than I thought. It's just more a lack of education. But guys, women out there, if you're looking for a reason to vote, you have to stop the domestic violence. It has to stop at the top. Okay? We have to vote this government out because they're doing nothing about the domestic violence. 5 days from election, 5 years they had. Less than 1 million people and nothing has been done. All right? We're still watching it every single day. It's despicable. And now they're walking on stage and saying, please, don't vote for another party out of spite. That's what Irfan Ali said yesterday. Okay? After that young lady was murdered. All right? After that little child was shot. He walked out on stage and tell everybody, please don't vote for somebody else out of spite. Which means you know the kind of shit job you're doing. This is your fault, President Ali. You want the good? You want the celebration? You want we love you for the bridge and the road? Well, now we hate you for the murder. You want control everything? Take the bad and the good. All right? This is the kind of responsibility. You want to be the big man? You want to claim that you're the savior? Well, you're also the problem. Okay? Good? That's how this works. You don't just get one side of this thing. The women dying because you doing nothing. The police force are corrupt. There's no systems in place to protect them. The economy's struggling. Poor people can't survive. And they're beating one another and turn into substance abuse. And there's no mental health help. That's why there's abuse in this country. Because you do nothing. You didn't use our taxpayers' money properly. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, y'all thief out everything and build shitty roads and bridges. That's why I'm telling y'all. Alright? That's what the PPP legacy is. The most children. The entire Madia fire happened. Anything changed with we fire service? Anything? A school just burned down a week ago, another school burned down. Right? Nothing ain't changed. You ain't put no systems in place to protect nobody. Right? Adriana Young, the murder just happened a couple months ago. Anything changed with we police force yet? Anything? That's why telling y'all, nothing is changing in this country. They ain't doing nothing for nobody except themselves. And people dying, children dying, women are being slaughtered. Okay? In the streets like animals. Okay? You watch that video. That man shoot that woman like an animal. Imagine what going through these men's head in this country. And they're doing, the government, the police, the ministries, nobody doing nothing. The schools ain't even teaching about it. Not even to say they're trying to fix the next generation. They're doing nothing. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. If you're looking for a reason to vote them out, domestic violence is the reason. Okay? Something is wrong with these people at the top. It's disgusting. They feel like they're God and above the laws. It has to stop. You're looking for a reason to vote against the PPP? Vote against them feeling like they're God. Them, their friends and their family, feeling like they're above the law. Okay? That's what they feel like, this complex they got in them. I don't need to help nobody. I is God in this country. That's what Irfan Ali and the PPPs feel like. You want the reason? That's why the men, all of them out there feeling these big boys in this town. Because that's what Irfan telling them. Any problem you got, you just call me. I can call the chief of police and he can fix it. And he can do the end of the. Watch the Nigel Darmlal story. The police, the DPP, who again is selected by the president. Oh, we're just dropping that matter. We mean you just dropping the matter. Little girl just cry rape. We mean you dropping the matter. You understand the flaw, the breakdown in society? It's all stemming from the top, where they're controlling everything and what's going on. I don't know. We need better than this. That's the reason for y'all to vote for better, right? We can't keep doing this. Too many people dying, too many of our children dying. All right, guys, on that note, let me run. 5 days more, please vote the PPP out. Vote for Win or Forward Guyana. Just vote for anybody except PPP and APNU. Make nobody feel like they are God in this country. None of y'all politicians need full power. That is what, I have to end with that, sorry. Guys, I keep explaining to people, I understand that you might not like the other politicians. I get it. And I tell y'all it's the same thing every single time. I don't like any politician. None. Okay, I despise all of them. I don't trust none of them. But you know why I'm pushing for third party and minority? You know why I'm pushing against the PPP and APNU? First of all, PPP and APNU are going to get their votes. You guys know that, okay? They got their racist followers. They're going to get their racist votes, okay? Sadly, it's probably going to be majority of the people, all right? But what we're trying to change is a system. I am telling you to vote for a new system, meaning no politician must have full power, okay? I am telling you to vote for somebody else, not to put somebody else in power, but to actually take some of the power away from these politicians, so that no one of these political parties could make all of the decisions themselves. All right, that is what we're looking for. I know it's a hard thing to understand, but don't vote for the politician. Vote for a new system, and it starts with a minority government by ensuring that Parliament, no one political party can have 33 seats. That's what we're stopping. We're stopping them from walking into Parliament and say, we taking all this money and y'all can't do nothing. We changing the laws and y'all can't say nothing. That's what we're changing in Parliament, because that's what they do. If they have, how Parliament works is a majority, all right? So a majority votes out of the 65 seats. So if any one party has 33, it means that they can do anything they want. And that's what the PPP have right now. And that's what we're trying to take away. Okay, Irfan might still be president. All right, he can still be president, but not control Parliament fully. All right, I don't care if you like Azreen, I don't care if you like Amanza, I don't care what politician you like or don't like. Vote to make sure no party has 33 seats. All right, just spread your vote out. If you're in a family, tell all your family vote for somebody different. All right, and then every 5 years we're going to go through this. It will keep changing and evolving. We're now learning. The whole world has done this already. We're a very young and new country, and this is all part of the education, guys. Vote a different party in order to keep balance in the system. All right, guys, and accountability, transparency, and make none of these politicians feel like they're above the law. All right, that's what we need to stop mainly. I'm sorry, my condolences go to the family and all the other families. Jeez. All right, guys, take care. See you tomorrow.